Hey everybody, welcome to my channel where I talk about video game music and occasionally art stuff, I guess, and also occasionally video game reviews and my channel's a mess. Regardless, that's not what this video is about. I wanted to take some time to pay my respects to the dude that literally brought me to where I am today. I feel like, like there's so many things that can change your course in life, right? And I feel like me watching Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball as a kid was one of those things, undoubtedly, as it was for like many, many people. Action anime and all that stuff has never been the same since, Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball. And it continues to use the tropes and the fucking, like everything from it since then. I drew so much Dragon Ball Z back in the day. Like, I would just trace it. I would just try and make my own characters. I would try to, do all kinds of stuff. I was not at the level that I am today, that I can literally turn Goku's pose the other direction. But, as hard as that is, I can do it now. And, there's a couple of things in my life that I feel like definitely contributed to me learning and taking art more seriously, and Dragon Ball Z is 100% one of them. What I prefer, all this other stuff. Akira Toriyama has been a massive influence on me just as a person. I feel like you got the story itself, right? Which isn't all that deep or anything, but, it's filled with, you do the right thing and whatnot. And, everybody needs some kind of version of that in their life also. I drew a Freddy Fazbear there, unfortunately, because somebody asked, I think it was Chip James asked me to draw Fazbear, whatever. Regardless, this drawing was super fun to make, just because, it's been a long time since I've messed with the Dragon Ball Z style or Dragon Ball in general. This is like early Dragon Ball, right? Where Akira was drawing it himself, I think. I don't think he did the color or anything, but it kind of looks like somebody did the typical thing that he does to make the reference that I'm using look like he colored it. By the way, if you guys haven't seen it, his environmental art is astounding. It's super cool. I love it. Chrono Trigger and all that stuff was also a massive influence on me. Like, it was just like, it was a perfect storm of, art that I didn't get to see a lot. Like, I could have gone down the path of drawing like Spawn or like, Wolverine, X-Men, that kind of stuff. And not that that's a terrible path or anything. That's 100% awesome and valid too. I want to learn that as well. But this is definitely where it started for me, And without the skills that I've gotten or attained over this time, I wouldn't have this channel. I wouldn't have Senvo. I wouldn't have Tifa. I wouldn't have, all the various things that I've done over the years. I've done traditional art, I've done digital art, I've done realism, I've done anime, obviously. Right there I was looking for some reference for how Toriyama does fur, right? I kind of do like a big chungus, like there's a different texture to the way that I do it, but I don't think I ever see him draw fur ever, except for like the tail fabric, you know what I mean? So I just kept it with that, so it would be more consistent with his art style. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, I completely forgot that I didn't save the latter half of this video, so like the coloring portion is completely gone. I missed my window of opportunity to save that video. I apologize, and I regret massively that happened, but because it's like 7 hours worth of footage, yeah, as cool as it seems that I'm going really fast and whatnot, like it did take a super long time. But yeah, so Senvo's pose is all done. Moving on to T-Vi's pose, it was difficult because, like I said again, the perspective is just impossible. Like, it looks cool on the panel, right? Because he's facing towards you. But in actuality, the way that it looks is completely dumb at any other angle, almost. Not completely, but, you know, it's pretty hard to work with. But anyways, back to the subject. I just really, really appreciate and admire what this show and, you know, his various works have done for people. You know, like, I see his influence all over the world all the time. And it's like, how do you achieve that just by making a cool show? You know what I mean? Or making a cool manga. It's crazy to me. But that's the power of art, you know? Like, you create, and through that, if you are passionate and you like what you do, the people will come, you know? There's a hand, in theory. It's getting put together. You see, whenever I come from sketch to line art, I like to have a little bit more understanding of the shape before I do a hand, but in this case it was like I completely botched the sketch of the hand, so I just went into trying to reformulate the line art entirely, adding some details and whatnot. I put a lot of like weird bends in the shoes because that's pretty common. We'll get to it later, but when you see the end product, I used metal cooler as inspiration for like the color of T-Vi, because she's metal, right? Like this whole thing, or like some kind of biomechanical something, right? So I just went with that, and that was a fucking mistake because it was super hard to do. That's not the point. It looked super cool at the time, so it's whatever. I was like, I have to. This is something I did a lot when I was a kid. Just like do cross hatching as battle damage, right? Like, I can't tell you how many like that carried with me to this day. I'm still doing it. Let's see, doing battle damage and stuff. I don't think like okay, so the fabric of the scarf isn't really like how he would draw things, because that's where my superhero stuff comes in. Like, I liked Todd McFarlane's stuff a lot, so you know, I end up doing a lot of weird, crazy folded fabric stuff also. Just working on some environmental stuff in the background here. The trick to environments is to think geometrically, right? I mean, this isn't... If you're doing Akira Toriyama style, which I was, and I half was, half wasn't, it's very round. But for me, it's like very angular, right? So it's different. But you'll see if you look up his environmental work, it's very like, the things get rounded off, but it's very detailed and super awesome looking. Weird spire pillars were always a thing. I don't know how this happened or geometrically or anything, but I just sort of thought about it in a 3D sense, and it helped a lot to make that. See, okay, here we go. See how rounded that stuff is? It's kind of like difficult to pick out because whatever, but like there's not a lot of jagged edges really. So right here I put this, I think it's a planet or a moon, I really don't know. I think this battle takes place on Earth technically. And I'm using a Namek reference, so there you go, doing the wrong thing at the wrong time, whatever. But yeah, I thought it was cool, so why not do it? Little shadows. I really don't remember how he did shadows, to be honest. But hey, it's an aesthetic. But yeah, that's it. Super cool standoff. I hope you guys enjoyed. And of course, rest in peace, Toriyama. We all appreciate what you've done. And you'll be sorely missed.